You get picked on and bullied by other kids at your school. You're all alone and directionless in life, and just as you start to lose hope, while scrolling through Instagram Reels, you stumble upon the infamous Red Pill community. They flex their luxury lifestyle full of cars, houses, and expensive watches and tell you that they achieved it all by quote-unquote locking in. So you decide enough is enough, I'ma lock in. You delete all social medias, get on a nofap, quit eating junk food, and you even start working out. You're on week 1 of locking in, and the first couple of days they go well. You're ticking off every box and you finally start to feel like you've turned to a new chapter in your life. But then week 2 rolls around and guess what? You relapse. You end your nofap streak, reinstall TikTok, and you give up on that diet. The cycle continues for the next couple of months, and as a result, you barely make any progress after half a year of on and on locking in. You look back at the last 6 months of your life and ask yourself, why haven't I made any progress?
Locking in won't get you anywhere. Well, it isn't as black and white as it may seem.
Think of it like a double-edged sword, and in order to do that, we first need to understand the definition of locking in. To be in a state of intense focus and determination in order to achieve a specific goal, often by shutting out distraction. So to put it simply, locking in is a period of intense focus. Right now, think of a couple of overachievers. For example, David Goggins, Kobe Bryant, and Elon Musk. What do they all have in common? They all went through periods of intense focus in order to achieve their goals. David Goggins, he lost 106 pounds in only 3 months after a Navy SEALs recruiter told him he was too fat to join the Navy. During the off-season, Kobe would train for 6 hours a day, 6 days of the week, for 6 months without fail. And Elon Musk, he was working 100-hour weeks while building his first company, Zip2. Now, if I'm sure of one thing, it's this. After hearing all these success stories, most of you are thinking, if I just lock in too, I'll be just as successful. But what if I told you that mentality was killing you?
I used to ask myself, what if I just locked in too? If I just cut off all other distractions and focus solely on my goal, I'd get there so much faster, right?
But the problem lies in people's impatience and impulsiveness. Think of yourself as an elastic band. On one end of the elastic there's you, and on the other hand are your bad habits. The more aggressively you try pulling away from the other end of the band, the stronger the resistance and the harder you'll snap back to baseline. I like to call this the rubber band theory. I struggled with this a lot. I'd make a super big to-do list and told myself that I couldn't do anything other than work. Couldn't play video games, watch YouTube, or eat junk food. I forced myself into a lock-in period with no prep, and as a result, my short-lived lock-ins would be followed by a long fall-off period. And as you would imagine, I'd burn out and go right back to my baseline, bad habits, and as a matter of fact, they'd get worse. I'm sure you've experienced this as well. You throw yourself into a new world that you aren't used to, going from 0 to 100% in a day. And all of a sudden, you've gone from an unstructured day of doom scrolling and beating your meat from dusk till dawn, to waking up and having a schedule where every block of your day is filled with either working out or a bunch of other self-help rituals that you learned from some guru. Now, what do you think happens when you do this? After the first few days, you're determined, but shortly before the end of the week, burnout hits. And you give up coping, saying that locking in wasn't for you, when in reality, you just didn't know how to lock in. Let's fix that. Instead of seeing locking in as a phase, see it as a lifestyle. Because when you really think about it and ignore what most of social media tells you about success, it can't just be hacked. There is no use the script to gain 1 million subscribers in 1 month, or 10 easy side hustles to make your first 10K in the next week. Because first of all, it isn't realistic. And second of all, you only consume those type of videos because they make you feel good in the moment. But when you realize that there's more to this, you either switch up or you just quit altogether. So find one idea and ride with it.
But here is where things get complicating.
You finally decide to allocate all your attention to one idea. For example, creating YouTube videos. And at first, friends and family subscribe and your first video gets 200 views. But the next 3 videos only get 50 after you spent days pouring your heart and soul into each video, which helps open your eyes to the reality of the situation and makes you feel like quitting. You start telling yourself that there are millions of other YouTube channels, so why would they watch me? I'm no different. It was stupid to try chasing this, and it's just some childish dream and I should just quit. I'm such a loser, I should just
Stop. It's not over. The only reason it still feels that way is because you're on the 3rd step of the emotional cycles of change, and you don't even know it. And at this point, you're probably wondering, what even is that?
Think of it as an emotional roller coaster with each height representing inevitable phases that everyone on the road to change will experience. And it all starts with phase 1, uninformed optimism. This is the beginning phase. You've just learned about the idea and you've seen all the success that it's brought to others, and so you decide, hey, let me hop on the wave, without fully truly understanding what it takes to make it. A little after joining and learning a little more about the idea or business, you decide to apply your newly acquired knowledge. At first it seems promising, but after about a week of work without any results, you realize that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are actually trials and tribulations, road bumps in the path that make achieving your goal that much more difficult. But we were nowhere near the finish line because that was only phase 2, informed pessimism. The third phase is the lowest point in the roller coaster, called the Valley of Despair. At this point, you fully understand that this isn't all sunshines. It's actually pitch dark. It's when all initial enthusiasm fades away and now you're left doubting your very ability to even make it. It's when you start asking yourself, is this even possible for someone like me? Or is this even realistic? You've been working for months now and you haven't seen any results. And now that big goal you were once willing to sacrifice anything to achieve seems more like a delusion that isn't even attainable by someone like you. It's when most people decide to quit. Now, let's go a step further. Let's say you decide to keep pushing through the doubt and you show up every day to give it your all. You'll then find yourself arriving at phase 4, which is informed optimism. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. After working for months, maybe even years with little to no results, you finally get a small win. You make your first $100 online, or you finally hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Although in the moment, for the amount of time that you put into your craft, it may not seem like much to outsiders. But to you, that slight win was just what you needed to remind yourself that it was possible to achieve your goal. And as a result, you've regained your momentum. Your path is clear, and you have no intention of slowing down. And as a result, your small wins become bigger wins, and inevitably, you achieve your goal. Although it only took me 1 minute to explain the concept, in reality, the whole process takes around 6 to 10 years. You might be thinking, damn, that's a long time. And if that's the case, think of your favorite YouTuber over the age of 22. I mean, literally, pause this video and think of your favorite YouTuber. And once you've thought of them, I want you to open up a new YouTube tab and type the person you have in mind. Once you've entered their page, go to their videos and right below select the oldest button, which will show you the creator's content in order from oldest to newest. And most likely, their oldest video was over 6 years ago. Most people learn this and think, I'm not trying to spend that much time working. And if that's the case, then do something else. But instead of seeing it as discouraging, let it inspire you. Those guys were once just like you. They just tried harder and kept trying no matter what came in their way. Take Mr. Beast for example. At this very moment, he has the most subscribed to YouTube channel with 450 million subs. But he only started picking up traction in 2017 after his first viral video titled, I Counted to 100,000, that amassed a total of 32 million views. That's pretty impressive, huh? What if I told you that his first post before that virality was made 6 years prior in 2012 when he was only 13 years old? Think of it, it took him 6 years of consistently posting before even breaking the surface and hitting 100,000 subscribers. And in all honesty, the pace of his growth was above average. It might take you 5 years just to hit 10,000 subscribers, or you might just go viral after your first video. But one key factor remains the same no matter the starting point, which is consistently showing up and putting up reps will lead to growth over time, but all of it is completely useless if you don't know why. Why am I doing this? Why sacrifice all this time towards a cause or goal when I don't even know what I hope to accomplish by achieving it? Finding out why you're doing something is needed for success, as it gives importance and a sense of urgency towards accomplishing the goal. Think of it this way, our brains are only motivated to do tasks based on how important we perceive the outcome to be. Pause the video and think of 2 things that are absolutely necessary for survival. 3, 2, 1. Now, I'm just going to assume that you said food and water, because without them you cannot survive. And that's why when pushed to the absolute extreme, you will quite literally do anything in order to get those 2 things, even if it means harming another or committing a crime. Anything outside of your essentials will simply be pushed to the side by the brain and paid less attention to. That's why before pursuing any goal, you must identify why you're doing it and be specific. Your reason must be greater than money, because guess what? Money can quite literally be attained by doing damn near anything. Any job, any side hustle, any item sold. So why start that business when you can start any other business? And why is that specific job your dream job when all other jobs pay? Because when pushed to the extreme, what will you do in order to accomplish the goal when a similar or greater result can be granted from damn near anything else? I want you to think about it carefully, because that's what will push you to pursue it even when you don't feel like it. Because if it were food and you were starving, don't you think you would keep searching even if you didn't feel like it?
Now control yourself, because I'm about to contradict myself.
Let's say there are two cars on the same road headed towards the same destination that's located far away. On one side is a guy who dislikes driving, but he likes the destination, while on the other side is a man who enjoys driving regardless of the destination. Who do you think arrives there first? Now, you might be thinking it's the first guy because he has an actual reason for driving, being that he actually likes the destination and wants to get there. But what if I told you that you were wrong? It's actually the second guy who arrives first.
And after hearing this, you might be getting a little confused and maybe even mad at me. Because in the beginning, I said you needed to have a reason because it would push you through the hard times. So why is it different now?
Let's say you took two toddlers and gave them two individual Lego sets with the instructions to build a house. On the right side is a baby who has a goal. He wants to build a house on the box because he thinks it looks nice. Although it may not be a deep reason why, it's still his reason. And that should inevitably push him to achieve his goal, right? Then there's another kid, the kid on the left. He doesn't really care about building the house. He just likes building Legos. He does it all the time. And he would do it even if there wasn't a reward at the end. So you start the timer and both of them start building. You notice that the kid on the right, he's getting angry because he hasn't yet built the house. Although it was going to take time, he thought it was going to be quick. And since he doesn't actually like building Legos, the process is just that much more dreadful. And as a result, he just ends up quitting. While the kid on the right, he loves building Legos. He keeps building and he doesn't stop because it gives him so much comfort. At the end, when he's done, he still yearns for more because to him it didn't feel like a chore. He just loves doing what he does.
It's the exact same in this scenario, because although one of the guys has a goal, simply because he doesn't like driving, he'll find reasons to stop here and there. While the other guy, he doesn't even feel like stopping because he enjoys driving. To him, it's not a chore, it's more like a reward, something he loves doing.
I know it's a lot to take in, and hopefully you realize that the journey isn't necessarily a sprint, it's more like a marathon, full of injury, doubt, and obstacles. You might not like how long it takes, but realize that regardless of whether you chase your goals or not, the time will still pass by. So why not do it anyway? It's the reason why we read books, because they have up and downs, and that's what makes them interesting. If a book was happy all through, would you actually read it? No, because it's boring and lacks plot. So make sure you take pride in the adversity, as it's what will make your story worth reading. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more.